Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Video Game Valley. It's a beautiful day today, a perfect 72 degrees out. We're continuing Kentucky Route Zero on the PC. Kentucky Route Zero on the PC. You know what I don't like? Now, this is a controversial opinion. You know what I'm not a fan of? I'll tell you. Daylight savings time. I'd forgotten that daylight savings time was happening, so last night the clock went from 1:59 to 3 o'clock. It went from 1:59 right to 3, and I was like, whoa! I must have been abducted by aliens. Aliens must have taken me aboard their ship and touched my face, for I have simply lost a whole hour of time. and the only explanation is aliens and face touching. Don't like it. There's been numerous bills in the United States, in U.S. Congress, to end daylight savings time or extend it forever. As in, we stay on daylight savings time forever, or daylight savings time never happens again. But for now, we gotta deal with it. Time should not simply disappear like this. You know what? I agree. Oh yeah, I got a green tea with me. Delightful. I would rather time did its normal progression. We'll see if these bills finally get passed, though. Had to manually go around with a ladder today and fix all the clocks at my work. Nice. What a pain. Alright, chapter 3, here we go. This might be my favorite chapter. '83 and sunny now. Looks like it's gonna get up to about 101 by late afternoon in Louisville and 103 in E-Town. Not a cloud in sight, so get out those parasols. Ha ha. Major accident just ahead of the Bardstown exit, so if you're headed to work on 31, you are late, my friend. Ha ha! Let's see. Sugar. As it is. That's what Ira used to say. I had a dream about him last night. I heard you yelling. Bad dreams? We were up on a roof, Ira and I and Charlie, eating a light supper. I was drinking sweet tea. Charlie was reading. We were surrounded by other houses, closely packed. Huge sidewalks. Must have been a... what's that word? Subdivision. That's it, I'm sure. Below us, a group of people were gathered, standing quietly. A man was reading from a book. I asked Ira about the weather. Would it rain on Tuesday, or when would the sun set, something like that. He wouldn't answer me. Charlie stood up, and Ira told him to watch his step, and then I remembered. I woke up before I could stop him. Charlie was alone on that roof. I guess he was. He was so bright. His teacher said, what was the word? Imaginative. That's it. How could I forget? It wasn't his fault. Wasn't anyone's fault, Conway. That's what we mean when we say it's an accident. Sure. Well, we have a mail order delivery today. Might be a long drive. Hope the truck can hold up. That truck'll outlive us all. Hope you're right. Glad you'll keep it. Ira would have wanted you to have it. It's been running since Charlie was born. Ira took me to the hospital in that truck. So did you once. Your knee. My new knee. Plastic. It'll be like a souvenir. So, long drive. They said they couldn't come in person. Maybe just a shut-in. I don't recognize the address. The order is all... I'm sure we can fill it. Guess that'll be the last. I guess it will be. The last act of Lizette's Antiques. The... Oh, what's the word? Finale. Maybe. Oh, no, that's not the word. I just need to think a bit. More coffee or something. Or I've had too much. It'll come to you. Maybe. I'm not sure anymore. Seems inevitable there will start to be words that I lose forever. What are those boxes you set in the hallway? They're Charlie's old books. Oh. Thought we could look them... No. I thought you might like to look at them. I'll take them with me. Thank you. Cora should be here soon. Will you wait with me? Sure, Lice. I'll wait with you. There's your traffic and weather on the 5s. That's every 10 minutes. Brought to you by the Consolidated Power Company. Stick around for Old Kentucky Home with Kate, helping you turn your humble home into a mansion after this. Well, that's only if you make a late payment on a follow-up visit. I think everything went well enough here that they'll only want the bill for... Oh, he's awake. How do you feel, old man? All fixed up? Truman says you might be a bit misty coming out of it, so... I was dreaming. That's unlikely. Neuroplanol TM is quite powerful. In fact, many patients report a sensation of lost time. Feel like you've lost time? I guess so. It's been about 2 hours. What have you been doing? We watched TV for a while. Then Dr. Truman showed me some of the terms of this bill. It's kind of... You'll want to look over it yourself, I think. How about that leg? How's your leg feeling? Yeah, that's the important part. Conway shifts his leg a bit in the chair, testing it. Well? This isn't my leg. Not your... Of course it's your leg. Doesn't feel like it belongs to me anymore. I haven't encountered this reaction before. But it's not totally unheard of. I read a paper about something like this last year. It can happen for a lot of reasons. Neurological, psychological, social. I'm sure it won't persist in your case. Your thoughts and feelings are probably still a little nebulous from the Neuropinol TM. That's totally normal. It'll pass. I wouldn't recommend driving, at least for another hour or two regardless. Thank you, Doctor. Sure, it's, let's talk about a few things you should be aware of. Recovery, rehabilitation, and side effects. I've plenty of resting time coming up soon. Good for you. Vacation, or... more like unemployment. Well, at your age, I want to be clear. You should expect lingering effects of the injury for more or less the rest of your life. Don't immerse it fully in water. Avoid extremes of temperature. I'd stay away from dusty roads and mountain lions as much as possible. Mountain lions? Good advice in any context. Best thing you can do is keep it clean and free of debris. What do I clean it with? Only clean your leg with a soft cloth, moistened with water or isopropyl alcohol. You'll definitely want to avoid abrasive agents like detergents or other solvents. So, do you have any questions? Anything about the bill that didn't make sense? Don't mean to rush you, but I have an early fishing trip. Tell him about the payment plan and the bill. Ah, yeah, that's one of the atypical clauses. I don't really have any control over the bill. Now that the Consolidated Power Company bought my employer, they handle everything. So it all runs through your electricity bill now. You can pay it back in full on your next billing cycle, or you can get it on an energy credit payment plan. You have to call Consolidated for more detail about that. I don't really understand how it works. Something about generating electricity is sent back to the grid. Oh, one more thing. Don't be alarmed if you experience any side effects of the Neuropinol TM. Typically, we see daydreaming, deja vu, pensiveness, fugue states, irregular perception of time. About 15% of patients report a generalized sensation of lateness. Nothing to be alarmed about, just keep it in mind. Thank you for your help. Julian's outside. We can head back to your truck. The American healthcare system, folks. Museum of Dwellings. Well, I got a skeleton leg now. Got a skeleton leg. Talk to Homer. Look in the dog. Yes, the rain stopped. It'll be earthworms all over this lot. Ding dang shame to be an earthworm in a rainstorm. How are the drugs treating you? I don't like to take medicine. No, it's good for you. He's a doctor, right? I know what you mean, though. My folks had a peculiar relationship with medicine. We almost never had a regular doctor or health insurance or anything like that. Our immigration stuff was a mess for most of my childhood, so we only qualified for state programs in small patches before something or other would get contested. And we learned to just pile our dentist appointments and stuff in those short windows. If a cut got infected, or her migraines were too much to handle, Mom would talk to so-and-so who knew so-and-so, usually another minor, and end up with some pills. And instead of medical advice, every pill came with gossipy, anecdotal warnings and superstitions. Like all this lore that came with it. Like magic. Dangerous. Mysterious. Ever run into any problems? Sure, yeah. Stuff would be expired or mislabeled. Mom was allergic to penicillin, as it turned out. That was scary. And one time, in high school, Weaver got these pills to help her focus. She was so smart, but always going off in different directions. Mind racing, like 5 conversations going on in her head at once. And you're lucky if even one of them is with someone in the room, you know? So she had these pills, and they seemed to help. I was struggling in school, too, failing my history class. She offered to share the pills. Did it help? At first, yeah, it helped a lot. I had a kind presence and clarity of purpose that I've never really had otherwise. It didn't... Excuse me. One second, I gotta take a sip of my tea. I was doing voice stuff earlier, my throat's a little... there we go. Okay. I didn't want to stop taking them. One day, I was sitting on my bed. My notebook was open next to me on top of a textbook, and I was holding a pen in my hand. I remember this moment from several years before. It came up so suddenly, with such precision, I couldn't put it out of my mind. I felt I had to stay with it until I recalled the whole thing perfectly. It was just a tiny nothing moment. My mom patching up the side of a bird cage, winding some spare wire around the frame to reinforce it. I was fixated on that image and that sound. The cage kind of bending and twanging as she worked on it, rapping and nodding, scraping copper against paint, like bowing a rubber violin with a railroad tie. My parents came back from a triple shift and found me still sitting there on the edge of the bed, pen in my hand, delirious with thirst, patching that bird cage with a 1,000-yard stare. Some visitors to the museum. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day of the year, except Labor Day. Last admission's 4 p.m. daily. Darn. Try the door. You folks lost? And then what? Ben, you're being very uptight right now. You're right, it's unlocked. I'm not sure it's finished in there, though. What's finished? Would it be better if we were finished? Or if it were finished? Can we be sure of that? This late, you'll wake someone up. Hush. Think I heard a voice. Maybe a security guard? I didn't hear anything. We're just too late. Let's come back tomorrow. Alright, let's go in. If everything's shut down, it'll be pretty boring. It's definitely after hours. What? I said it'll be boring. No, we have flashlights. Look, if we visit by day, we see what they want us to see. If we visit by night, it's all up to us. Emily, Ben, and Bob argue about whether to enter the museum. Allergic to penicillin too. Yeah, I'm not allergic to penicillin, but I am allergic to some antibiotic. But the problem is, I don't remember which one. I do know that I'm mildly allergic to a antibiotic, but I simply cannot recall which one it is. Thankfully, it's not an extreme allergy or anything. In my early 20s, I got sick once, and I ended up months and months. I had to take like multiple antibiotics to get rid of whatever it was. it was a rough time. It was a rough time. I lost a ton of weight just on antibiotics for months. One of them I was allergic to. So what's the plan here? Head back to the zero, I guess. I hope these are the right files. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're what Lula was asking for, but it was kind of a mess in that storage facility. How do we get back there, though? The entrance to that farmhouse was gone. Let's ask at the gas station if he knows another route. Sure, okay, worth a shot. The truck's engine sputters and dies as Conway guides it carefully off the road next to a fallen tree. Act 3, Scene 2. A tree. Nothing to be done? Can you take a look at it? I guess I could poke around in there, but I don't know a dang thing about engines. Wait, is this why you always leave your truck running? First time it's just died like this. Well, where's the champagne? Anyway, do you know this area? Anyone around here that could give us a hand? Yeah, I drove past here yesterday. Oh? What were you doing out here yesterday? What was I doing out here yesterday? That's what I asked you. Saw two strangers by the road. Give them a ride or something? Well, I offered to, but they wouldn't take it. That was thoughtful of you. Hey, we should call someone. Do you know a good towing company? Yeah, Lucky Boot Collision and Towing. Here's their car. card. Lucky boot. Alright, I'll give him a call. Hope I can get a signal out here. Shannon speaks into the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Hi, hello. We've got an old, I want to say diesel, old truck just stalled out. Did I wake you up? Your card says open 23 hours a day. We have the car. I mean, it's the truck. We're broken down by the side of the road. That's why I'm calling. That's... Okay, look, we need to get back on the road here, and I'm sure you're busy too. Are you... Is this a bad time? Right, yeah, thanks. Okay, it's... Where are we? We're out off 65, just kind of pulled up by this tree that fell over. That's actually a pretty accurate description of it, yeah. Hanging over the power lines just like that. You see, did you see it go down? Okay, my pleasure. How long do you think you'll be? Distant traffic sounds. Hello? Are you bored? Not yet. Okay. To me, you look a little bored. Let's play a game. What would you like to play? We can tell the future with this little tree branch. It's pretty easy. We just break off all the little sticks on each section and count through different things that could happen. Okay, what should we ask? Should be about you. Can't do both the counting out and the questions. What kind of bed will I sleep in tonight? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away, one at a time, counting out possibilities. King size, queen size, twin bed, bunk. Bunk. Okay, what else? How will I travel in the future? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away, one at a time, counting out possibilities. Motorbike, motorboat, horseback, hearse, old truck, new truck. New truck! These other branches are too bare. Don't worry about it too much. Just a bunch of sticks. Let's talk to Homer. Wish Julian wasn't so busy right now. He's got a lot of houses to carry still. He can handle it on his own. Talk to Shannon. I think they're on their way. Guess we have some time to kill. We could look over the road map again. I've stared at that thing too long already. Where do you get that old map anyway? Yeah, it's always just been in the truck. Huh. Someone must have grabbed it at a gas station somewhere along the line. Maybe they threw it in the glove box at the dealership. When my parents bought their first car here, it came with a map. Used to sit in the back and pore over it. Aunt Remedios saw me looking at it, I guess, and a few days later she gave me a map she'd brought from Colombia. Almost looked hand-painted, deep, vibrant colors, and rough border lines like anxious brushstrokes. Really pretty. I'd slowly trace the coastline with my finger, like I was walking on the beach, and say, "Here we'll swim. Here we'll start a fire. Here we'll find a cave in the cliff face and go live among the bats for a while. I think I'll take a look at that radio of yours. Maybe I can get it going again. No point just standing around." How's it looking? The leads are badly corroded, but I'm making progress. That's what I like about working on electronics. It gets easier as you go on. For me, it's just the opposite. Almost there. Yeah. I gotta figure out my voices for these characters. KJ's on it. I give her the $10. Just saw the film Hoppers at my local cinema. Definitely one of Pixar's most bonkers films. Makes sense seeing how the director, Daniel Chong, is also the creator of We Bare Bears. We Bare Bears. Watch some of that show. Seemed pretty good. Alright. I think I've decided. I think I've decided the voices I'm gonna go with for these characters. I use this voice for the doctor, but I think I'm going to use it for Johnny too, just because I like using the voice. Is this the right way? I don't recognize these trees. Oh my god. My controller's disconnected. One second. I think it needs new batteries. One moment. No batteries? Let me come. What the heck has happened? Probably need to repair it or something. Not sure what's going on. One moment. Okay. I think I fixed it. Yep. Yeah, we're good. Is this the right way? I don't recognize these trees. Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Just, the trees are so quiet, right? Usually you'd hear birds, wind, a squirrel or something. Turn your ears down and focus on the radio, Cricket. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm a little bored. I'll work some chord progressions in my head for a while or something. Look at the road behind. Is the bike kind of dragging a bit today? We've stripped our gear down pretty bare already. Yeah, beats hauling a couple guitars and amps around. I look good with a guitar. It's true. I guess you think I look good standing there with an amplifier under each arm, grinding my gears smooth. Just my type. More than all silver and gold of this earth. You should have been a poet. I'll leave the poetry to the professionals. What's on your mind, Cricket? No, I don't know. Just looking at the stars. Hope we get there soon. Never been this late. Keep on dreaming and I'll keep on driving. Okay, thank you, ma'am. You know, we're already late. Are you going to explain all this to Harry? No, no way. You're the smooth talker. In fact, I bet you'd have no problem explaining we had to step out of the goodness of our nature and check on some wayfaring strangers. Fine. Just for a few minutes, though. You're the best. And hey, maybe if they're not busy, they can fill some seats at the gig. You know, if no one's there, Harry'll try and bilk us on our fee. Was that him? That was a motorcycle. Lucky Boot has a big truck. Yeah, they're too fast for a truck. Bet they're getting chased by something. Maybe they just have somewhere important to be. Definitely getting chased by something. To Johnny. Stay here. To Ezra. Careful. He's wicked with strangers. Ha, you. You didn't have to stop. We got a tow coming. Hear that, Cricket? We didn't have to stop. Why'd we stop? That's a good question. These folks seem to have a certain handle on the situation. So... Oh, we thought you were stopping to help. Sure, something like that. Listen, we got 2 questions for you folks. What kind of people do you take us for? I mean, how do we strike you? You seem nice enough. What do you think, Cricket? Our generosity is unmistakable, ma'am. It radiates. It does radiate? Now here's another question for you. Do you like music? Lizette used to sing in taverns on the weekend. Beautiful stuff. Of course. So one thing that I've not been saying out loud is the fact that every one of Conway's sentences is getting cut off immediately. Of course you do! Say, they should come to our gig. What an idea! Well, we're waiting for a tow. A tow? I won't hear about it. This time of night, you'll be kicking your heels till dawn. Well, fix your truck up. Me and Johnny are a couple of regular gearheads. Why, I just put a new cylinder block in this baby over here. The vicious cycle. That's what we call our bike. That is a great bike name. We call it the vicious cycle. Pretty tough, huh? We'll get you fixed up quick, and you can come to the gig. See, we have a regular booking tonight, and, well, we're running late. Very late. That's what I told him. Now, the old man who runs this venue, Harry Esperanza, is a notorious withholder, and if we don't get a few bodies in the crowd, well, he'll go all penny pinching on us. Just a short set? We only have one song prepared. You'll come to the gig, won't you? Of course we will. Of course they will! Can you believe? We almost didn't stop. No, Johnny is talking to the dog Homer. Hungry, old man? I think we got a crust in the sidecar here. After all, it's so late. Well, it's all said and done. We stopped. That's all that matters. Our gig's at an old tavern called the Lower Depths. It's over there by old Charlie Moore Highway, just east off 65. We usually take a ride off the interstate around the petting zoo. Johnny likes the petting zoo. I do like the petting zoo. Now let's see about that truck of yours. I feel certain we can get it running. The convenience store is just a tiny booth in the middle of a lot that must have once been an active gas station. The light in the booth is on. Let's approach a window. Conway approaches a window. The inside of the booth is big enough for a card table, 2 chairs, and a few plastic crates filled with snacks and warm Coke. 2 men shuffle plastic dominoes across the table. Knock on the window. Conway knocks on the window. One of the men waves brusquely in Conway's general direction and returns his focus to the game. I guess we'll drive away. Conway's truck pulls away into the night. It's the petting zoo. Petting zoo is closed. We've reached the tavern. Act 3, Scene 3. The Lower Depths. Feels a little like home, huh? But I wish it didn't. Well, can't control your feelings, right? Let's go to the lower depths. Kind of late. Sure they're open? So they're open. This is one of those places. Let's head on in. We are not saints, but we've kept our appointment. How many people can boast as much? That's lovely, ma'am. Who said it? A poet! Ma'am, I hate to say it, but the cupboard is bare. Have some vision, Cricket. We've got 1, 2, 4 patrons. Harry doesn't count. Well, we've done more with less. What kind of music do you play? It's like Cyrano Cole meets Ike Towner, but with a woman lead and the keyboards a kind of ambient whisper wave. A little bit more reverb. There's some Dolly Crown in there too, like the early stuff before she joined the Sheet Swingers. Better drum programming though. I don't know those people. I don't know who those people are. Well, you'll hear it in a minute. Up to Ezra. Ezra flips eagerly through the jukebox catalog of songs. What do you think? I don't know how to play this game. Talk to the bartender. All I'm pouring tonight is Hard Times whiskey. Got any coffee going? No coffee. Hard Times whiskey. Say, shut the GD door, would you? I can't afford to run the AC all night. Sorry, Harry. Oh, that's you two. Where you been? Never mind, listen. I can't keep this place open through the small hours of the night just waiting for musicians. Gets lonely, doesn't it? Yeah, kinda. How about some music? Nobody here to listen to it. I can't pay for it. We brought some people, Harry. No, sorry, that was Johnny. We brought some people, Harry. A crowd is forming. Yeah, but also Couldn't you use a break, Harry? Been on my feet all day. But Here we go. I love this scene. Let's watch the show. How's it looking out there? How y'all feeling tonight? We got a little more reverb on the monitors. Harry adjusts the soundboard behind the bar. How's that? Test 111 350. Lamentation. Sounds good. How's everybody doing? Anybody had a real bad night? How about you, old man? Yeah, real bad. We'll try not to make it too much worse. This is a song I heard in a tavern many years ago at an open mic night. Me and Johnny were out just riding around, you know. You like to drive around, old man? That's my job. Of course you do. So we were out riding around and we passed this gaudy old tavern. I mean, it was a real dive. Busted up facade. Weeds in the parking lot. Taps all dry. Brats in the bar room. And run by this creaky bag of bones. Looked like the only thing keeping him awake was the fear of death. So glad to be back here at the lower depths. Hey now. So we stopped for an early drink, and there was a lady singing right here on stage. And the song she sang, well, it stuck with us. Now it's a regular part of our repertoire. Never got that lady's name, but she seemed like a sweet gal, and she had a voice like Scotch whiskey. And we just hope we do her song justice. So here it is. Too Late to Love You. I should never have met you. As long as you were gone.
Free from certain
years I know that I'm bound to my fate. I love that song so much. Love Junebug. Alright. Well, we're halfway through the stream. I did not want to interrupt that. Also, yeah, United States currently doing daylight savings time. It's a terrible, terrible thing. I hate daylight savings time. It's got me all messed up. Anyway, we got a birthday to celebrate today. We got one birthday. It's Cat's Eye. Happy birthday, Cat's Eye. Let's see what the machine's got to say, too. Cat's Eye. Date has been calculated. Let's fill out your birth fate card. What is your luck number for the year? It could be one of an assortment of numbers. 502. How about your letter? Kind of forming a pile here. How's the weather? A big hook. Any of this hatch an egg? No. Got a poem. Birthday machine has written a poem just for you. Here is your poem. Opportunity. Opportunity. The opportunity of a stormy scorpion. The opportunity of a scorpion who writes attitude. Scorpion opportunity. We become scorpion opportunity. We love scorpion opportunity. And then opportunity lifts us. So true. Birthday machine has looked at the stars, determined your friend constellations, the anxious monk, enemy star, Mu Iris number 2509. Has there been a cosmic event? Let's look at the data and the charts. No. Gather around, everyone. It's time to sing. To whom? Cat's Eye, of course. Join me, if you can. Happy day, this is Cat's Eye. What a strange day for Cat's Eye. We burn all the buildings, the shadow of Cat's Eye. We must all clap for Cat's Eye. No escape for our Cat's Eye. Here, have this cannoli, the labyrinth of hope. I guess a cannoli is a little bit like a labyrinth of hope. Some parting wisdom. If your spirit cannot reduce the water, it is certain then everything is falling apart as a helpful bird weeps. Of course. Finally, we have a one-of-a-kind work of art created by the machine just for you, Cat's Eye. Here it is, your one-of-a-kind work of art. Interesting. All right, there's the Cat's Eye. The Cat's Eye is a horse and a pomegranate. Happy birthday, Cat's Eye. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And many more. All right. I'm completely out of beverage. I'm going to go grab another one. Be right back. We'll continue this in just a moment. Alright, I'm back. I've returned. May Lee, thank you for the 5 British pounds. Happy March 8th. Ways to become more of a misinterest with every year. Happy March 8th. Yeah. I just realized I had my second mic still on. Must have had that on yesterday, too. Last couple, and Friday. Oh, a couple days of having 2 mics on instead of just the one. I'm sure my voice is not optimal these last few days. Apologies. I was born on International Women's Day because I am women, all of them. You're all the women. For any of you who just joining us, I got a skeleton leg now. Or Conway has a skeleton leg. Congrats. Yeah, you would think it's congrats, but it's not. How did that happen? Injured the leg. So, for anyone confused by the skeleton leg, one of the main things in this game is debt. Debt is a major theme of this game. This manifests itself in a number of different ways. One of those ways is just the debt we accrue in terms of what we owe other human beings and the way that that affects us through the course of our life. But also the twisted version of debt that is the actual debt money that we owe corporations and companies and governments and all of that. So in this particular instance, Conway has had a leg injury, and in order to get the leg fixed, he had to go into massive medical debt. and this is now visually represented in the game through this glowing skeletal leg, which is simply no longer his own. Well, hope you liked it.
I've heard it before.
I don't doubt that. You look like you've spent an evening or two in a grimy old tavern. Listen, we appreciate you folks sticking around for the show. There's nothing more wretched than playing sad songs to an empty room. We've just got a get-off fee from Harry that will get you headed to the, zero. By the way, in case you're wondering, when Junebug and Johnny walk around, they do make robot sounds because they are in fact making robot sounds. Let's talk to Harry. Well, Harry, I think that went pretty well. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential? Oh, no, wait, that was Johnny. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential. Rapt. I guess the usual fee is about right, and we'll let you get back to your business.
Well, that's just the... Dang it, I was trying to tell you to. I can't pay. They cleaned me out. Got nothing left but a GD IOU from the distillery.
An IOU?
Yeah, I traded them for some whiskey. Guess I had some surplus credit, so I got this note to get some more from them later on.
Sorry, that was a... It was a terrible line read. Let me try this again.
Yeah, I traded them some
for those of you who weren't here last week, he traded them everyone's bar tab. So now everyone is who frequented his bar is now has their debt controlled by this big distillery.
Yeah, I traded them for some whiskey. And I guess I had some surplus credits, so I got this note to get some more for them later on.
There we go. Must have been a heck of a trade.
I had to. Gotta keep this place open somehow, gosh darn it.
What's your language, Harry?
Say, we just need to get pointed towards the zero. Ah, God.
What's that? You know what they're talking about? Tell you what, you point my friends and I to the zero and we'll call it even.
You folks there, you want to head down there? I've never been myself, but I hear... people hear things, rumors. Is where we gotta go. Well, I'll tell you then. To Junebug. But this is it, right? We're square.
Harry, you're all right.
If only. You got a radio in your car?
Yep.
Well, here's what you gotta do. Take a left out of the parking lot, and then just fiddle around on your dial until you hear something familiar, but... I mean, familiar, but strange. You know the feeling? Like, I used to go hunt with my uncle out in the mountains. Now I watch these nature programs. They're filmed in the mountains, and there's the deer, and I know all the plants and every kind of tree, but something just doesn't look right. And it's even stranger for being so close to familiar, something like that. You'll know it when you hear it. Fix that strange but familiar station on your dial, drive for a bit, and turn around when the station cuts out. I mean, right then. Hope you folks find what you're looking for. Eventually.
Always a pleasure, Harry.
Is it?
So was I supposed to... I don't remember what direction I was supposed to take out of here. The station doesn't quite match that bartender's description. Definitely weird, though. Let's keep scanning. He said we'd know it when we hear it. What's this station? I've never heard this before. Sounds like... horses. Horses running a race?
Charlie and I used to go to races sometimes.
Charlie, he was your boss's kid, right? The one who, yeah, must be some memories there. Well, that fits familiar but strange for me. Harry said we just drive until it cuts out. My God. The horses. Back on the zero. Hall of the Mountain King. Act 3. Scene 4. Hall of the Mountain King. Look at this bridge. The bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in despair. Talk to the dog. They don't keep the roads up too well, do they? Never have. I know how you hate to hit a pothole, Homer. Time to cut him loose, ma'am? Well, now I'm having fun. Okay. Slow night anyway. Let's go to the boardwalk. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with a fine dust. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. A pet carrier for a cat or small dog has been left by the path. A calcified rag, wadded in the corner, may have once been a blanket. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber.
Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here, shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew, when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart, while really you're in love with a young woman as well, and you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture.
What are you talking about?
No, you're right. It's insipid. Derivative. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Just me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows.
Why'd you stop writing?
You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little libido into those ugly little beige boxes. Ha! So I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction. Then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours, I played around with a doomed love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. No, our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I missed those days in my Lexington studio apartment.
All right, Amy. Let's talk to this old man over here. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? Sorry, did we startle you? Might say you did. Thought you might be one of them. Oh no, you can't be. We've been patching all their spy holes. We keep the lights dim and the motors running softly, and we route the smoke out through, that is, what were we talking about? You were singing. Oh, you caught a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth, something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my love, a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on, it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is, what were we talking about? We're a bit lost, actually. Ah! You came from the road, the zero. Now you should stay off that road. Not safe. Bizarre topology. You'll never get anywhere. It just brings you right back here. Back to this cave. Always back to this spot. It's a prison. An irrational prison. But I don't mind, not anymore. This is where my life's work is. The computer. Right on the other side of the spire. Looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively. And in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused base transistor circuitry? Sounds like it would short circuit. Certainly, certainly. But not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others, and it grows in nonlinear, chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit through a simple application of classical horticulture, but we can't produce specific results, only tendencies. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere gardeners in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. You were about to tell us about the software? Oh, the software, my life's work. Xanadu. You've heard of it? Perhaps you've read about it in a journal? It's been years since I've published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article, Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative as Post-Structural Witness. Evolved, and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you are too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted, and then all the charm was broken. You have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and sit powerlessly as your work declines into
I drive deliveries for a small antique shop, and we're closing down. Ah, shuffling around the dusty ghost of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce. Anyway, far too late to do anything. Well, I might just Xanadu that. Talk to Andrew. Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... now I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space, the one we're standing in now?
It's a mess.
Catastrophe. Or the site of some ancient catastrophe, anyway. Sure, the evidence is all around us.
What's that burning on the fire?
Mysterium tremendum. Mysterium tremendum. It sends the shadows scattering. Momentarily lights the mouths of unseen tunnels. That fire is constantly reshaping my... Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes?
Only if you close yours?
Okay, I can do it from memory. Good. Now, you are standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of, where are we? Oh, here again. How disappointing.
Balthazar, thank you for the $2. But Kish. Oh, yeah, my cool Xanadu joke, thank you. What are all these computers for?
Computers? Now I remember. I was writing on them. I described a cave. That was my job. Describe the cave. There's a great history of caves in the literature, don't you know? The walls are frozen rivers of orange stone. Isn't that vivid? I had a lot to live up to. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing. Someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor, instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me that it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer, and I've put in the hours, believe me, I put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often, in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They could only be entered with precise, faithful detail. So I know how to write. And all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. The kingdom is in peril. Well, what else is new? You work here? Work? You could call it that. I gather old circuit boards and throw them in the fire. Sometimes I fish out precious metals and let them cool into toxic gems. I put them in my hair. Enchanted jewelry, talismans. A magic mirror that prevents the future. A magic shield that protects the bearer from age. A magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales. And then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills. Rubbed leathering elbows with academics. Scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally, now I carry the firewood into Senescence? What is this word? Senescence. 1 second. Biological aging, the gradual deterioration of functional characteristics of living organisms. Okay. Senescence. Now I carry the firewood into senescence. Got it. Learned a new word. I'm sure I learned this word last time I played this, but now, but I've learned it again. The kingdom is in peril. Alright, let's look at Xanadu. I'm pretty sure I've already knew the word senescence, but I've definitely never spelled it. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with a worn tarp. A closet-sized wall of knobs and wires looms behind the machine. Humming faintly, an electrical typewriter is the only easily recognizable component. Let's go to Xanadu. How do you think we get it started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Get ready for Xanadu. Act 3, Scene 5. Xanadu. At Den of Ardo. Huh? This thing is in rough shape. Do these switches do anything? Conway flips an unlabeled switch. Okay, that's worse. Try typing help. Conway, typing. Help. In barrels of coffee. Did that say Lula? Conway, typing. Lula. I've got them. I'm last second. I'm from school. So we won, but I was just crying from the paper, the reader. Dang, I can't tell what she's saying. Oh, I have my portable degausser with me. Old systems like this one can build up remnant magnetic fields that sort of warp everything along whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around until it's uniform again. I've got a degausser. That's how I like to think of it anyway, like shaking a snow globe. Huh, worth a shot. Hall of the Mountain King. Just around a tunnel, but I'm not sure.
Well, okay. Malvazar, thank you for the $2. Would work better if they cleaned up the power.
That's your problem. You gotta clean the power cord.
Yeah, just clean up the power cord. It'll be fine.
Premature indoor file. Press any key to work there.
This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. Act 3, Scene 6. Hall of the Mountain King. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. Talk to Donald. So, you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? Pretty busted? The chalky bones of a beautiful dream. But you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There was so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory. Exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems. Real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it all began to crumble when the strangers came. At first we only heard of them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. And then we caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? They look like... No! It's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. Should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me, but it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yeah, of course. Oh, do you know her? We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula's gone from here, but... Donald points across the cave with his pipe. Still in there. In Xanadu. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here. Or how to unwind that dang tangled highway, but... Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle. A shrine to perfect simulation. Until... But maybe... Those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. Maybe dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them, to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees, from rock to crystal, and then to mud, and you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone.
I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. That's right, I'm smoking mold. Don't judge me. Act 3, Scene 7. Where the strangers come from. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. No, worth a look inside. I guess. I want to stay outside. Okay. I'll stay with him? We can look for lizards. Okay, we'll make it quick. Find any lizards? I wasn't really looking. Nice cover story, kid. Why do you dress like a punk? A punk? Aha! Now what's a punk dress like, kid? Can you tell me? I dress like Junebug, specifically. I want to be specific. I think you are. It's the middle of the night and here you are in a graveyard. Any other kid your age would be in bed. You've just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line in about a half foot shorter and all gray, no eyes. Never gonna have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. A bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over. And we knew we weren't minors. We slipped out onto the road. Just these two featureless shadows. And ever since that night, we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. I feel more like myself every day. So yeah, Junebug and Johnny are mining robots that escaped to become artists. I feel more like myself when it's just me and Julian. Well, there. Now you're getting specific. There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Right, okay, we got what we need. Let's go. Act 3, Scene 8. Hall of the Mountain King. Thought she was talking about being transgender. I think I don't think that's an incorrect reading. But I do think that is part of the metaphor, yes. Like, I think that's the most common reading of this of this particular metaphor. I think you are not only not alone in that reading, but I think that is the primary reading. Let's talk to Donald. Trace an orbit around the road and close your eyes with holy dread.
For we are mold and whiskey fed and drank from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your darn machine. But I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh! Soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore it. Oh! Bit of a poem to rally the illustrious spirit, of course. Well then, type away by all means. Do not hesitate. Type away. Let's go back to Xanadu. Okay, we're supposed to type dome in air. Weird. Just following instructions. Here we go. Act 3. Scene 9. Xanadu. Xanadu. At end of road. Malvazar, thank you for the $2. Password 911 is an inside job. I don't think they've ever heard about 9/11 in this cave. This is a 9/11-less cave. You are standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. Enter building. Inside building. You are inside a building, a storage shed for the National Park Service. There is a sensible modern electric lantern nearby. Get the lantern. Get lantern. Taken. Exit building. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just type a direction. North. In forest. You are in an open forest with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? Climb tree. I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Sorry. Can we dig a hole? Dig a hole. You can't see any such thing. Pretty limited vocabulary. South.
You're in forest.
Hey, it's a maze. East?
East. You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components in a small, handmade radio.
Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she's doing.
Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I can pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back.
North?
You're in forest. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. A small gray kitchen, no more than a few weeks old, dozes comfortably on top of his backpack.
Maybe he has something to say. Listen.
Donald, I was just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like... Joseph runs his fingers along the index card he's been tapping on from left to right, or from right to left. Long, weary song, drearily gone, drearily gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald. I've been noting down the sound of the forest with an ear for speech, and an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose, so maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetic subsystems make of these punched cards.
West?
At edge of hole. You are at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into darkness. The computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped under the strap of your backpack, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone.
Go down into the hole. That seems pretty obvious. Down.
The cave walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. You lose your footing and fall to your death.
Dang it.
Your score was 0 out of a possible 8,192.
What?
You may continue or quit.
Continue. Maybe we need to climb down more carefully.
Climb down carefully. The cave walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. You lose your footing and fall to your death.
Dang it.
Your score was 0 out of a possible 8,192. You may continue or quit. Continue. At edge of hole.
Try using the rope to climb down safely. Tie rope to tree.
The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk.
Down.
Your feet slip a few times on the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. In bed quilt. You're in bed quilt. A long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's the last trip, so everything's down here now.
Set up the gear.
Set up gear. I only understand you as far as wanting to set the up above.
Set the up above?
Lula looks pensive.
Ask her about the cave.
Ask Lula about cave. Having second thoughts? I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier, as we were climbing down, I thought I heard voices for a moment. Or, not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices, singing. Some kind of eerie, tuneless working song. I'm glad I'm not down here alone. Ask her where the treasure is.
Ask Lula where the treasure is.
Ha! If I knew that, we wouldn't have to set up down here. I know you think this environment will help our project get us in touch with a deep romantic reverence for some kind of profound natural spookiness, but I was more comfortable in our lab. The university picked the worst time to cut our funding. Typical institutional stinginess and academic politics. I mean, I felt like we were getting really close to something. Something. Anyway, I don't know if it's sustainable down here. You know, to live and work here together. Joseph looks uncomfortable.
Jealous?
Hey, Donald, can you help me, wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizers, but I could use some help with a serial interface if you have time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east.
Maybe if we help Lula, she'll have more, some more to tell us.
Help Lula. Thanks, Donald. I can never remember which color lead goes to which pin. Lula begins unpacking the box of wires and terminals. You think there's paintings down here? Cave paintings, I mean? Maybe some old pottery shards from when the world was young and early men and women huddled in these caves to... You know, I think cultural fossils are the saddest fossils. Sadder than animal remains, I mean. We might come across a petrified mollusk or a partial dinosaur footprint and we say, there was a point of contact here where a body touched the earth. Maybe there's a bit of evidential garbage, but the life who owned that body never cared and has moved on anyway. And that's the end of it. But suppose I shine my lantern on one of these walls and I see a crude painting, thousands of years old. 2 men and a woman, charcoal and blood on rock. Someone put that there to keep something on the rock after she passed. A hope, a relationship, or a moment, a worry, maybe a regret. She made a painting to keep something alive for her. But like that dead mollusk or that itinerant dinosaur, she had to move on. Whatever it was is gone. Now we're looking at this painting, this dangling copy with no original. You are interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before.
What the heck was that?
Well, let's check it out. In tunnels. You rush down the tunnel with Joseph and Lula close behind.
That got kind of intense back there. I hope they've moved on by now.
The tunnel's narrow. As soon as you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees, navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward, as smooth rock gives way to jagged, crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel. Some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room.
In Crystal Room.
You're in a large, irregular chamber. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak.
Finally. Let's listen to what he says.
The stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life, and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, then slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment. Then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast.
Follow Lula. Run northeast.
Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage as you run. Soft shadows loom perplexingly from floor to ceiling. You feel around to distinguish shadows from crystals, but eventually you find yourself cornered. You have hit a dead end.
Who are they? Let's find a way out of here.
Escape. That's not a verb I recognize.
Look for escape.
You can't see any such thing. Listen, I think they've gone back to work. They seem strange somehow. Maybe they've forgotten about us. All right, let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact. Then we'll find our way back to the equipment. In Bedquilt. You are in Bedquilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Lula is here, panting for breath. Did they follow us here? Where's Joseph?
She seems pretty scared.
Reassure Lula. I know, but never mind. I don't want to think about it. I guess we should wait for Joseph here. This is where he'll go, right?
Might as well wait.
Wait. Time passes. Lula nervously runs her hand along a vein in the cave wall.
I guess we could wait for an hour or so. Wait for an hour.
Time passes. A shifting, fluttering sound grows louder from out of the tunnels. What's that? Joseph? 5 disorientated bats stumble through your lantern light and off into an adjacent passage.
Search for him. Search.
I only understand you as far as wanting to search.
We have to be more specific. Back outside? Search outside.
You grab hold of the rope and slowly climb up. Your days lecturing on esoteric computer science topics did not prepare you to scale cave walls with a rope. Your evenings gathering with friends to roll dice and consult fancifully illustrated charts, however, prepared you for the likelihood that this climb could end badly. You carefully descend back into the cave.
With the equipment?
Search equipment. The various computer and audio equipment cast angular shadows into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile. Nothing. Joseph emerges suddenly from one of the tunnels.
That dang sound! Those dang voices! I don't even know what direction I was running. I moved through the network of tunnels. I ran my hand along the wall, always turning left, but every turn and every rock felt the same. Well, I know I was running in circles. Finally, I ended up here. And I hid. I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. But listen, there's one thing I had to tell you. While I was out there lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across the Zero, and I had no idea. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and to church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned in my mind's eye.
A television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, a CRT monitor, a bottle, an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet.
What's up with Lula?
Ask Lula what's up. Nothing. Just, Joseph, you sound disturbed. Lola, you heard those same dang stories I have. Doesn't matter now, dang it. I'm leaving. The heck with all this.
Get him back on track. We're so close.
Divert Joseph's attention. You shout something at Joseph about the project you are working on together. You'll die in these dang old caves. What about those men? You know they'll come back. Tell them we can find something to start a fire. Suggest finding somewhere safe to start a fire. You shout something at Joseph about going deeper into the caves. You hear the voices? They'll find you. But not me. I'm going back to the surface.
Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole dang cave. Joseph is right. We can't stay here. I'm leaving too. But I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down the zero. Whoa, don't let her leave us here.
Get Lula's attention. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail. Then you can see what your dang machine does with it. Lula and Joseph have left. In tunnels. Abandoned by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship.
Pretty thick. Sounds like Beardo had his heart broken.
You wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passage for a new site in which to realize your vision.
Sounds like a genius. What do you mean? Vain. Vanity. Ain't it the truth? My aunt Remedios, before she got into the whole ethnomusicography thing? Yeah. Ethnomusicography thing. She was a painter. Mostly nudes in oil. She had this model, I'll never forget him. Big, classically physical guy. Looked like he was about to storm Troy. He made everyone call him the Colonel. Weaver and I saw this guy naked a lot. You couldn't help it. He was always posing somewhere in the house, chasing the light from room to room while Aunt Remedios made a sketch of his profiler. Worked on the right mix of pigment for his abdomen. The Colonel had this magnificent hair, long black hair that ran down to the bottom of his shoulder blades. One evening, he was standing next to an open window in the back of the house. The sun was setting, early spring, I think. It was kind of windy. Aunt Remedios was trying to get his hair right. She kept arranging it, like half in front, half behind, running over his shoulder and laying across his chest in this very specific way. But it itched him or something, and he'd do this weird, indignant shuffle thing. Or the wind from the open window would push it around, and he'd start to turn his neck, or when Weaver or I ran by, and everything would get tangled again. The final product was a swirl of black lines billowing around the top of his neck. Weird thing is, I don't remember his face now, just that black swirl. Probably the best one she ever painted. All of the Mountain King.
After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous, rocky spire. This is where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. Now is the time to continue your work.
Alright, research assistance 0, realism index 37%, romance index 2%, mold coverage 0%.
You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistant to a task, or sleep until tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hire a new research assistant.
Uploading job advertisements to university message boards. You have hired Amy, who studies human-computer interaction.
Let's hire another one.
Uploading job advertisements to university message board. No new applicants. Try again later.
Let's assign assistants to a task.
You may assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation.
Debugging.
Assigning available research assistant to debugging.
Let's hire a new one.
No new applicants. Okay.
Let's go to sleep.
Amy identifies a bug with the oxygen level simulation, but is unable to fix it. Now is the time to continue your work.
Got one research assistant. Mold coverage is 10%. Let's hire a new assistant.
You have hired Rick, who studies library sciences.
Assign Rick to a task. Transcription.
You have 2 research assistants available today. Assign how many to transcription? 1.
And let's assign Amy to debugging. Let's go to sleep.
Time passes. Rick makes adjustments to the echolocation algorithm. Bats now fly normally instead of getting hung up on each other's wings and clustering together like horrible, leathery tumbleweeds. Amy types up some lurid imagery from a dream journal. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue your work.
Yeah, let's hire another research assistant.
You have hired Weaver, who studies mathematics.
Assign speculation. All 3 to speculation. Let's go to bed.
Time passes. Rick makes a convincing argument for the edibility of stone. Weaver posits that nature, not reason, is the master of industry. Amy muses about the love lives of fungal colonies. Intruders! The strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. Now is the time to continue your work.
I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the 0. Mold coverage 0%. Hey, look at that. No more mold.
You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow.
Let's hire a new research assistant.
You've hired Andrew.
Can we hire any more? No. Assign them to a task. Debugging. 2 to debugging. Let's assign 2 to transcription. Why not? Sleep.
Rick widens tunnels slightly to reduce the need for extra crouch commands. Weaver fixes some weird math with some weirder math. Andrew extensively notates tunnel diameter as a function of length. Amy summarizes the migratory patterns of bats through tunnels. Weaver follows the strangers into the tunnels. She doesn't return, but neither do they. Now is the time to continue your work.
3 research assistants. Let's see if we could hire anyone else.
You've hired Roberta, who studies fairy tales.
Transcription 4. And 1. Oh, you currently have no available research. Okay. Let's go to bed.
Rick carefully transcribes the sounds of dripping water and all of their variations over a period of several hours. Andrew transcribes experiences. Amy transcribes experiences. Roberta transcribes experiences. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue your work.
Maybe we should try to start over or something. This doesn't seem to be helping. Alright, yeah. Try to quit and start over.
I want to keep playing.
Okay, sure, we can keep playing.
You've hired Mary Ann, who studies fine art.
Assign speculation 2. And let's assign debugging 2. And let's assign transcription to 1. Go to sleep.
Time passes. Amy fixes bug. Rick fixes bugs. Andrew transcribes experiences. Mary Ann discards centuries of exhaustive data on the uniformity of cause and effect. Roberta has ideas. A mail carrier on bicycle brings you a sizable bill from the power company. Now is the time to continue your work.
Let's try to hire a new assistant.
Hired Greg, who studies architecture. Intruders! The strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. Now is the time to continue your work.
Let's hire a new assistant.
Connection failed. University message boards have been discontinued.
Try to quit and start over. Come on, kid, we got stuff to do.
Are you sure you want to quit?
Yes.
That was a rhetorical question.
Exit?
Exit. But you aren't in anything at the moment.
Maybe we have to lose or die somehow in order to start over.
Eat the lamp!
Eat lamp.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yes, we can keep playing.
Now is the time to continue your work. You may hire a new research assistant.
No, we can't. Assign assistants to task. All of them to speculation. Okay, 5 of them to speculation. And 1 to debugging. You dream fitfully.
You, Lula, and Joseph stand in a hallway. The walls are blank beige. It's just after winter quarter, but before spring, so there are no students around. Joseph says something clever, and Lula leans on his shoulder. You wish that, instead, she had taken your hand, or that there were any other option. Now is the time to continue your work.
Maybe we have to wait it out.
Wait indefinitely. Time passes. Research assistants come and go. You don't encounter the strangers again, but sometimes you hear the uncanny echoes of their voices off in the tunnels. Years pass. Mold accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take to burning disused equipment in the center of the room. The black mold is intensely flammable and makes an excellent catalyst. It leaves behind a sweet, necrotic perfume. One night, you have visitors, outsiders, different ones. Then, Later that night, an old friend. You really did go deeper into the caves. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit.
Huh. Yeah, that's Xanadu, everyone. Act 3, Scene 10, which we will continue next week. Yeah, I didn't want to end right in the middle of Xanadu. I love this game so much. I just, nothing quite like it. Special thanks to the FilmCow Patreon supporters. Greatly appreciate the support. Be back tomorrow. Not sure what I'm playing, but I'm sure it'll be a great game. Hope to see you there for that. I'm gonna go eat something. I made some curry earlier. Probably have some of that. Is Donald trying to make an AI girlfriend? No. No, he just, had a destructive relationship with his own work. Yeah. That'll be it for tonight. Have a great night, everyone. Yeah, have a great night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, have a good one. Farewell, everyone. I love you all.